as we went racing for the 65th time in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Yesterday here at Zandvoort, 18 winners would become 19 as Tuukka Taponen charged through to take victory in what was very tricky conditions. We would be under the safety car for a period of time due to safety. This was a decision made by both teams' drivers and the stewards, a joint decision. Tuukka Taponen picking up the lead after a spin from James Wharton. He had pressure from the championship leader Rafa Kamara, and he would withhold that pressure all the way to the flag to pick up his first win in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. He, of course, the Middle East champion. So Tuukka Taponen, his first win on the board, and now we go into a brand new day, race number 2 for the season here at round 3. A welcome to you all to the coverage. Great to have your company once again. My name Chris McCarthy. As you can see, the conditions much different today. We had really tough conditions for the drivers yesterday to deal with out of nowhere. A delayed start to the race, which meant they were dealing with those really tricky conditions out of nowhere, really. But today we go back to dry conditions and we go into a new qualifying session to set the grid for a new race. So this will set the grid for race 2, which will be coming up later on this afternoon. If you weren't with us yesterday, it was Tuukka Taponen, as I said, who took the race win in the end. A great drive from him to take that race win, and it's put him second in the championship. He won from Rafa Kamara and Alessandro Giusti, who got his first podium of the season. Pedro Claro taking his first rookie win. Then we would have Evan Gilter, Enzo Deligny, Ivan Dominguez, Zach David, Enzo Peugeot and Brando Badua, who continues to rack up those top 10 finishes. But now we go into qualifying format for you. We split the drivers into 2 groups. There, our winner, the number 8, Tuukka Taponen from yesterday. We split the drivers into 2 groups. This done before the weekend started, so yesterday's result has no influence whatsoever on the group of today. It's the same group as it was yesterday. So Group A and Group B we have. This is formed before the weekend started. It's done by championship position. The drivers 1st, 3rd, 5th and so on go into Group A coming into the weekend, and the drivers 2nd, 4th and 6th in the championship go into Group B. It's Group A who went out on circuit yesterday. Group B followed. This morning it's going to reverse. So Group B are going to go out on circuit first for a 15-minute session, and then we will have Group A go out after. The faster group at the end of both sessions will form the inside row of the grid. The slower group will form the outside row of the grid. That's how it's going to work. They essentially will fight for what row of the grid they will start on. Now, I should update you that we do have a penalty that's going to take place in this race. James Wharton carries a 3-place grid drop for that unsafe rejoin. So it's going to be an even more crucial qualifying session for him after that unsafe rejoin at Hugenholtz corner. But Tuukka Taponen up to 2nd in the standings now, looking to try and chase down Rafa Kamara, leading the way. He's on 55 points, Rafa Kamara on 111 points, so still well clear from the rest. If you're new to the coverage this weekend, it's slightly different as we're here supporting DTM. Very nice graphics, I have to say. Great work by the team we're with that are doing the broadcasting. The drivers highlighted in blue down the left-hand side of your screen are our rookie drivers. So Enzo Peugeot, Evan Gilter, Huang Datsoya, and then we have Bidon Bakhti, Kanato Lee, who got his best result yesterday and the best result for G4 Racing. So we have Teofil Niall, Zach David, good day for him yesterday, Tuukka Taponen, Ugo Ugachukwu, who was running well, qualified well, but the McLaren Junior taking the spin. It's just been a season of really misfortune for him. He's qualified really well. He's had the pace to fight for for this championship, but unfortunately he hasn't had the results to go with that. He'll be looking to go for a really good result here today. He's in the number 3, you can't miss him, he's in the Papaya. Nico Lacorte in the Alpine Academy car is in the number 7, and Enzo Peugeot in the 74 comes next. After that, then we have Sandro Giusti, the Williams Junior driver, Enzo Peugeot, Evan Gilter, a winner this season. Leonard Buhler is in the Sauber Academy car. Giovanni Maschio is in the 99. Ricky Liu, Roman Belinsky, their teammate, watching on after a traffic incident. He has flown home and is already in the sim. So if you're watching, Roman, great to hear that you're back home safely, and we look forward to welcoming you back soon. Brando Badua, McLaren affiliated driver in the 15. Kenato Lee getting the best results for G4 Racing yesterday with a 12th place finish, carrying lots more confidence after going to race in GB3 a little bit earlier in the week break that we had. And Kenato Lee doing a fantastic job yesterday to come through the field and get 12th place. He's knocking on the door of first points finish, the British F4 graduate. Right, well, we're aiming towards kind of 131s, 130s in terms of lap times. We're about 6 seconds away from that so far, but Tuukka Taponen may put a benchmark time for us now. We tend to get halfway through the session before the time starts to roll in, and here we go. Benchmark time is set from Tuukka Taponen. We've only had one on-track session here so far, which was a GT Masters qualifying session. Zach David does a 132.131. The Maltese Philippines driver going to the top, but only briefly. Enzo Peugeot, the French F4 vice champion, goes to the top now, but he's beaten by a former French F4 champion in Sandro Giusti. So Alessandro Giusti, carrying that new crash helmet, goes to the top. Williams Academy driver getting his first podium of the season, and that might be the confidence he needed. He had the chance yesterday, I think it's fair to say, to maybe fight with Rafa Kamara for the second place, maybe even the win, but I think points were on his mind, and it was a composed drive from him, a sensible drive for him. There he is in the red and black, and he wanted to get those points on the board. He's got those on the board. Will we see even more attack from him? Here we go, R-Race GP trying to chase down Prema Racing in the Teams Championship, but for drivers, they're not fussed about that. They just want wins. Tuukka Taponen now, he's got that win on the board. Will he go and get his first pole position in Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine? He got a front row start yesterday. He'll want pole today. It was the first group that went quicker yesterday. Will that be reflected today? Here they come round the final corner. We're watching Tuukka Taponen on your screen, and Tuukka across the line, 131.209. That's a good benchmark time as Ugo Chukwu goes second place. Sandro Giusti going very quickly as well, but Enzo Peugeot is the one to go third. Teofil Niles, Spanish F4 champion, goes into fourth place. What about Sandro Giusti? There he goes, P3. This is one of the Kick Motorsport drivers coming through shot. Oh, and that's someone spinning into shot. That's Huang Datsoya, one of the other Kick Motorsport drivers, spinning into shot. So it was Nanda Vudbirenbhakti we saw going through cleanly. Huang Datsoya, his teammate, coming through with a spin. Crucially kept it going. Brando Badua, been quiet in this session so far, has Brando, but I don't think we will see that continuing throughout. Let's see what he can do. He's running 8th in the championship, one of very few drivers to be in the points in every single race, getting very consistent. But Brando Badua will want to get a podium finish now. He's come close with a 4th at Hockenheim. Let's see if he can get to the podium places. Well, a 6th place would put him just outside the top 10. However, we're seeing purple. You can see the sectors as they come through to the left-hand side of screen, and a purple dash next to Taponen's name means he's gone quickest through the first sector, but a grey dash means he's gone slower through the second sector. What about the last sector? Let's see what he can do through there. Here he comes up to the line now, slower. What about Peugeot? That opens up the gap for him, and also Gilter. Peugeot across the line now. Teofil Niles following. Peugeot goes third. Teofil Niles did not go quicker. Gilter coming up to the line now, and well, that's Giusti, sorry, he goes goes quickest. This is Evan Gilter coming up to the line now. So Sandro Giusti, provisional pole position. Will he stay there? Yes, because Sandro Giusti cannot, Evan Gilter, sorry, cannot improve. So it's a Sandro Giusti by 0.003 of a second who has gone to the top. Very similar scenes to what we saw yesterday. And Alessandro Giusti, or Sandro, as he likes to be called, and that's why the change is coming in for you regular fans. It's what he's carrying on the back of his crash helmet, and what he told me he liked to be called. Sandro Giusti, quickest by 0.003, but will he stay there? Brando Badua up to the line. Here comes the Van Amersfoort Racing driver on their home race. The Italian goes to the top by 0.006 of a second. What a time by the Italian. Brando Badua graduating up from Italian F4, who celebrated 10 years yesterday. So many good drivers they've produced over the years, and here's another one they've produced in Brando Badua, who goes up to the top. What a time from Brando there. 1:31.2, and he's beaten Giusti by 0.006 of a second. We have just 0.009 of a second between our top three, 71 thousandths between our top four, with Ugo Ugachukwu also in the mix. How on earth are those two gentlemen not enticed by the action? 71 thousandths between the top four, 1.5 tenths between the top five. I hope they're watching the live stream, because if they aren't, we are seriously missing out on some good action here. Jukka Taponen in the number 8. Comes round the final corner. He's right in the mix, only needs to find 9 thousandths. And if you're wondering why they're backing off, they're getting ready for a final push lap, hence why we're seeing these beautiful pictures, slow-mo shots of the guys coming round. They're going to do one more slow lap just to let the tyres cool down, and then one more big push lap. And on the push lap, I can tell you, Ugo Ugachukwu has just done a personal best through the first sector, as has Teofil Niall. This is Nico Lacorte, the Alpine Academy driver who we are following, and he is on a personal best lap as well. He's one of 3-4 drivers maybe that are going quicker. Behind him is Ugachukwu. So Nico Lacorte will be the first driver that's going quicker out there to cross the line. Let's follow him up. He needs to find time. He'd be on row 12 so far, and he goes to row 10. Oh no, red flag. Red flag is out just as Ugachukwu was improving, and that's the session over. That's the session over. We will not see any more action. And that means Brando Badua will start on the front row of the grid guaranteed, and he will be our provisional pole sitter. Brando Badua with a 1:31.20 is the quickest driver, and just look how close those times were in the end. Wow, wow, a 1:31.200 for Brando Badua. Nandavud Bidambakti it is, who's gone off into Hugenholtz corner. Very easy. That's the corner that caught out both Ugachukwu and James Wharton yesterday. And it's caught out several drivers over the weekend. Anytime you speak to any of the drivers and ask them, what's the toughest part of the circuit? They say the banking. And when they say the banking, they don't mean the last corner. That's flat out. They mean this corner here. You just have to judge. There's so many different lines you can take, but mentally, it's the hardest corner. Well, what a shame for Ugachukwu. He could have been on to potentially go to the top there. Teofil Niall, likewise, was going quickly. Giusti was going really, really quickly. Badua was on a slow lap, so it's hard to say whether he would have improved. But there you can see, that's one of the closest ends to a Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine session I think I've ever seen. 71 thousandths between the top four, 9 thousandths of a second between the top three. Round one of the toughest circuits on the calendar. I applaud all of the drivers there for making that session so close. We've witnessed one of the closest sessions I think we've seen in FRECA history. What a qualifying session. And thank you to all of you who are tuning in for this. Brando Badua takes provisional pole position. Alessandro Giusti second place by 6 thousandths. Tuukka Taponen, yesterday's winner, third. Uga Chukwu will start row 4 with P4. Enzo Peugeot once again will be in the top 10, just a 10th and a half back. Likewise was Evan Gilter, a 10th and a half back, but he'll start outside of the top 10, hence the brutality of FRECA and the competitiveness of the grid. Zach David, 2.5 tenths back, and he'll be down on row 7. Teofil Nile, 8th place. Kanato Lee, 9th place. Nico Lacorte nicked 10th. A row 10 start from Ricky Liu, who dropped to row 11 at the end. Giovanni Maschio was 12th. Lena Bula 13th. Huangdat Soya was 14th. And then Nandavud Bidambakti 15th. Well, the marshals are getting to work to clear some gravel that has gone onto the circuit. So a reminder of the qualifying format to you. The benchmark time has now essentially been set by Brando Badua as fans get ready to go and find different viewing points, I'm sure, around the circuit, or just enjoying a run around the circuit. It's a beautiful venue around here. Brando Badua, 131.2. That's the benchmark time that's been set. But yesterday's winner, Tuukka Taponen, at worst, he'll start P6 for this. And that's a good qualifying session from him, but he was only 9 thousandths of a second back. 6 thousandths away from a provisional pole position was Alessandro Giusti for ART Grand Prix. So close. Can he add to that podium he got yesterday and make it back-to-back ones? Let's find out. Fans enticed, I think, by the live stream just as much as they were by the on-track action. The big screens providing plenty of excitement around here, and so did this man, Brando Badua. What a performance from him to go through and get himself onto the front row. His best qualifying performance so far has been a 9th place. He's only been in the top 10 twice, which was a 10th place at Hockenheim Race 2 and a 9th place at Spa Race 1, to give you an idea. It's been qualifying where really he struggled. Other than that, he's been 12th at Hockenheim Race 1, 12th at Spa Race 2, 14th he was yesterday. So really it's been the qualifying where he struggled, but he's always been in the top 10, and he's been one of few drivers, along with the likes of Rafa Kamara and Enzo Deligny. It's only those three that can say they've been in the top 10 every single race this season. So really impressive that the likes of Enzo and Brando Badua can join Rafa Kamara in saying that, given the fact that they're coming into this for the first time this season. Enzo in particular as a rookie, but Brando himself really a rookie driver, even though he doesn't quite carry that status due to the things he's done in the off-season. But it's really qualifying where he suffered, but nevertheless, he's always come through. Now he's going to be on the front row of the grid. Very excited to see what Brando Badua can go and do. Definitely got it hooked up in that session, didn't he? And this might be the breakthrough performance he needs to really go and start racking up some podiums. He had some fantastic charges in Italian F4 last year. He was really great to watch and carried really good pace in pre-season testing in particular. Brando Badua was one of the quickest drivers. He was second in all 3 pre-season tests. He was actually the quickest driver when you put all of those all 3 of those pre-season tests together. So this has been a long time coming, I think, even though we are only at round number 3. Okay, the car of Nandavud Bidambakti has been cleared pretty quickly, and I think very shortly we should see the Group A drivers coming out onto the circuits. And there you can see them getting ready. You can see Enzo Deligny in the Red Bull livery, the first of our cars. Rafa Kamara in there as well. Marta Garcia, disappointing qualifying for her yesterday. She's going to be hoping for much better things today. She did come through in the race yesterday. She came through from 31st to 24th, so made some good ground. of course, we mentioned Roman Belinsky's not here. Dorian Pan is not here as well, unfortunately, after the incident she had at Spa. And she is just took the decision that she wanted to sit this one out and also sit a 24-hour Le Mans out as well. Very difficult decision for her to make, but she wants to make sure she's just better as well. She's suffering an injury to her ribs and just wants to make sure she's okay for the F1 Academy resumption when that takes place at Barcelona. Well, the marshals are just getting to work to make sure the track is in a safe condition down at Hugenholtz, and once that has taken place, we should be able to get going once again. It looks like that should happen very shortly. So 15 minutes it will be for Group A drivers then to go out, and they will have that time to be of a 1:31.2. I think for James Wharton in particular, carrying that grid drop, he'll want a first place at minimum. It will be for him, and for the likes of Tuukka Tappinen and co, all they can do now, as you can see him on screen there, is watch on. It's quite a strange situation to be in. Once you've been in that first group, you just watch the timing screens as we are now. Enjoy the session as much as you can and see where you're going to start, who you're going to start alongside, essentially. You know what row of the grid you're going to be on. It's a case of which side of the grid you're going to be on. Are you going to be on the inside or are you going to be on the outside? No surprise to see the start has been delayed. We have the Marshals safety team out at turn 3, just doing some safety work to make sure the barriers down there where we've had Nando and Bhakti having off. Zach David just debriefing with his team. A good day for him, a good weekend for him. I think it's fair to say so far he's had a solid start to the season at times. Zach David just outside of the top 10. He was only a 10th and a half off and found himself 7th there. So he had a little bit of work to do to get himself into the top 10. Badua, Giusti, Tappinen, Ugachukwu, Peugeot, the top 5. So they'll all be top 10 starters. Points, I highlight the top 10 because that's where we give points to. Similar to Formula 1, it's exactly the same point system. It's going to be a fantastic day here at Zandvoort, supporting DTM. We've got a meet and greet with the drivers who are going to be doing autographs at 11:15 local time. As long as we can get them all back in time, I'm sure that should be no problem at all. We will be doing that at about 11:15 in the fan zone for those of you who may be watching this on the stream from the circuit or watching this as you travel to the circuit. And it's will be a really good event for the drivers. If you're not at the circuit and want to see what that's all about, then keep an eye on the socials as we're going to be documenting that, shall I say. So do keep an eye out for that, and we'll be showing you what that's all about at around 11:15. So keep an eye out for that, and you may see us going live around then. It's going to be really good. We did it with DTM and ADAC last year at Hockenheim, and I have to say the drivers were pretty blown away by the presence they had there. So thank you to everyone for the support that you give our drivers and the championship as well. It's great to see it growing so quickly in what is now our 4th season of it, and seeing drivers doing so well in the support paddock. I know I've said it a couple of times, but I'm sure many of you are getting ready to watch Le Mans. We wish the 5 drivers taking part in that all the best. Matteo Capietto, Alex Quinn, Lorenzo Flusha, Gregoire Saucy, Esteban Masson. I'm sure they're going to be getting ready to take part in things like the drivers' parade in that when they go for that next Friday. They've already would have gone through the scrutineering process, which is an event in itself. Okay, 10:01 local time. That's confirmed. That's when we're going to go racing once again. to bring you up to speed with the championship standings and how things were changed yesterday. So Rafa Kamara still leads the way. He's had a worst result of second. He's going to be taking part in this session. A first or a second is quite an astounding start to the season. It puts him on 10 podiums overall. Record for that is 16. He's on 5 wins now as well, and the record for that, held by Paul Aron and Grégoire Saucy, is 8. Tuukka Taponen, 55, so he's still quite a way back, isn't he? He's 56 points back from Rafa Kamara. It's just a case, as I mentioned yesterday, I think what we are seeing more than anything is the big shift we've had in drivers. It's been more than what we've had any other season before in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. We had about 5 or 6 drivers come back who did a full season from last year. Only 11 drivers returned to FRECA this year who had raced at least once, and overall only 5 drivers returned after competing all of last season. And then we had the likes of Lennart Bühler come back as well. So yeah, I think that the big shift in drivers has certainly maybe played a part with drivers just getting used to the new championship. Of course, they would have done other things like the Middle East Championship and the Oceania Championship, but different tracks, different tyres to adjust to, different environments. And Rafa Kamara using his experience over the rest of the field, I think, to make an early gap. And as the drivers now start to settle into it, a chase may start to begin, but he has done the right thing and used his experience really early and has just been sensational from the start. But Tuukka Taponen sits second with 55. Evan Gilter, that win really helping him. He's been in the points the last 2 races to be third. Sandro Giusti, fourth. He's only been out the points once, and he's got on that podium now, fourth, 37 points for him. Ivan Dominguez returned to the points yesterday. Crucially, he'd been out of them at Spa. It was quite a tricky round for him. He picked up penalties in both races. We saw him have a couple of little offs throughout both. It was just a bit of a tricky round for him. Unfortunately, after such a high at Hockenheim to then go to a tricky round at Spa, he kind of got back on his feet here at Zandvoort. Ivan Dominguez running in 5th in the championship. He's going to be in this group as well in the 89. See what he can do here. Noah Stromstead, kind of in a similar position. He needs to, I guess, find his feet again here, like Ivan Dominguez did yesterday. He had a difficult start to the season, a really good Spa, and then 14th yesterday. He's kind of gone missing here. Let's see what he can do with RPM. James Wharton 7th, but yesterday kind of reflected that he's always qualified well. He's just not always been able to convert those qualifyings very well. But once he starts to, we'll see him shoot up the standings. And Brando Badua has always been in the points. Same with Enzo Deligny. They're on 28th and 27th points. Stromstead and James Wharton are both on 30. So that section of the championship is incredibly close. But Badua and Deligny, both in the points every single round, showing consistency is key. And for them, they've both come so close. They both had a 4th place at Hockenheim. They just need that extra step now to get on the podium, but very, very impressive. And then we have Roman Belinsky, 10th place, who unfortunately isn't with us at this round, but I know Roman is back home, watching on, cheering on his teammates, I'm sure, Ricky Liu and Nico Lacorte. And let's see how they can get on in qualifying. Of course, we saw Ricky Liu 11th in the last session, and Nicola Corte was 10th, so I'm sure Roman would have enjoyed that one, and now he's going to be watching the rest of his competitors in this one. And let's run through the drivers in this one, shall we? Matteo De Paolo will be in the number 2, Rafa Kamara in the number 5. Matteo De Paolo yesterday had a DNF after colliding with Valeria Rinicella in the 55. Both of those will be looking to come back from that. We never saw the incident. Hard to really comment any further on it, I think, but we saw right front suspension damage for Matteo De Paolo, and we saw Valeria Rinicella in the gravel, so you can make your own assumptions on that. Rafa Kamara in the number 5, James Wharton in the 13. As I said, he's got that 3-place grid drop. Enzo Deligny, the Red Bull Junior. Nikita Bedrin in the 11, returning to this round. Let's see what he can do. He was 5th and 9th here last year. Nikhil Bora still continues just to struggle to find that pace. See if he can turn things around here. Yaroslav Veselau is out there. Roman Andriolo in the 16. Marta Garcia in the 19. Pedro Clero got the pace, really got the pace. Got his first rookie win. Might have got even more confidence if he needs it now. Marta Garcia in the 19. Might have taken time to catch up in terms of data. Let's see if she's done that now and can move forward even further here without a teammate. Always very difficult to be in that situation. You've just got no one to bounce off. Edgar Pierre in the 27 with teammate for RPM, Noah Stromsted. As well, we got Ivan Dominguez, as I mentioned, in the 89. Jesse Carrasquedo is in the 33. And I leave him last by purpose. You may have noticed John Bennett fans are wondering why I'm mentioning, and family and friends, why haven't I mentioned John Bennett? I'm saving him until last for a reason, because I think he was one of the standout drivers yesterday, if not the standout driver. John Bennett may not have finished in the points yesterday, has never driven this car, got the call-up on Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe it was. I think it was Tuesday, got the call-up to do this. Flown in on Thursday morning to get in the car, 4 collective test sessions, has not done a full session in the wet, qualified 11th in the dry, and then all of a sudden the drivers thrown into a wet race. Spoke to the drivers, they did not have full wet setups on. They had a very small amount of times. They did one reconnaissance lap on slick tyres, and then they did a couple in the wet, but they did not have, they had to ditch off some of those so they could work on the cars. So they really didn't have a lot of time to get up to speed. They only had that time behind the safety car. John Bennett ran in the points for a lot of time up until the final 2 laps and got the best result for Kick Motorsport this season with 16th place. A congratulations to him. Let's see what he can do today. Right, now, time to beat 131.2. Let's see if they can do that. If they do that, they fall on the inside of the grid. 138 is the best time so far. We are about 5 seconds away. We're 8 seconds away from that so far. Enzo Deligny, I think, is going to set our first benchmark, but I tell you what, he was so close to throwing that lap away there. Wow. Pushing the limits is the Red Bull Junior, possibly to the cheers of the crowd carrying that livery. Here he comes down the straight. He's getting close, isn't he? 132, I think we can now say we are reaching that point. We're only 1 second away. Right, Rafa Kamara is second. Here comes Matteo De Paolo up to the line. Where's he going to go? Third. Now comes Nikhil Bora. Nikita Bedrin, sorry, he goes second. There comes Valeria Rinicella. He goes to the top. Now we have Nikhil Bora, who goes to P5. There comes one of the ART drivers, which is Yaroslav Veselau, goes up to 7th. This is Pedro Clero, rookie winner of yesterday. Valeria Rinicella's time, by the way, on 132.2, so that's pretty much exactly 1 second away, with with 500ths the other side when we take the second away. Okay, Rafa Kamara building it up. You can see, look, purple first sector. Jesse Carrasquedo went purple through the second sector. Rafa Kamara, I think, the one to watch, but the one we're watching is Pedro Clero. Is he about to go to provisional pole? Well, he's going to go top of the group. 132.055. Rafa Kamara, though, purple first sector, purple second sector. There he is in the red and white Prema, chasing down Enzo Deligny. These two drivers, the one to watch in this session possibly. There goes Enzo Deligny through, but this is the man that could go to overall pole position. Here comes Enzo Deligny up to the line. Where will he go? I think the man to watch though is the one behind. Enzo Deligny goes quickest. I don't think it will be for long though, because Rafa Kamara across the line does a 1:30.597, and that is pole position for Rafa Kamara. Goes straight to the top by 0.6 of a second. Wow, what a time there from Rafa Kamara. Has absolutely obliterated the field with that one. 6.5 tenths quicker than James Wharton, 9 tenths quicker than Nikhil Bora with 6 minutes to go. Superb time there. 1:31.2 was the time to beat of Brando Badua. Rafa Kamara has just done a 1:30.597. Track conditions building up all the time, of course, but nevertheless, that is absolutely fantastic from Rafa Kamara. Superb. However, we've still got 5.5 minutes. We've still got drivers out there, and Pedro Claro now has the chance to respond. Let's see what he can do as he comes up to the line. P3. Great stuff from Pedro Claro. What about James Wharton? He's going quicker on this lap. We've got plenty of drivers lighting up the timing screen here. What about Wharton? We'll be going full attack. We'll want to make redemption of yesterday. He'll want pole position. Of course, I mentioned it a couple of times, he has that drop, but he'll want to get pole position in qualifying nevertheless and have that statistic next to his name. Here he comes up to the line. Now, can he go quickest? No. Second place for the time being. That's nevertheless a superb effort from James Wharton. Great pace from him once again. Ivan Dominguez going very quickly. Noah Stromstead going very quickly. I think he could be the one to watch. P7. Here comes John Bennett. Quickest through the, well, quicker through the first sector, quicker through the second sector. John Bennett there, very good sector times as well. He's got a tow from Nikhil Bora down the straight as well, 9th place. Good stuff from John Bennett in the top 10 in this group. Noah Stromstead, good first sector from him, as Ivan Dominguez goes to P4 in the 89. So Van Amersfoort, 3rd and 4th. Here comes Noah Stromstead in the 57. RPM was pretty absent yesterday, but that RPM car can go very quickly on its day. Marta Garcia, personal best lap for her last time round. Right, Noah Stromstead up to the line, P9 for now, and goes P3. There we go. Noah Stromstead, that's more like it from him. P3, quickest of the rookie drivers, and 6 tenths back from Rafa Kamara, only 1 tenth back from James Wharton in second. So it's becoming a fight for second place here, and who is going to be best of the rest? Rafa Kamara just looks far, far too quick out front. There goes Jassi Cadascado through shot. This would be his best qualifying if he can stay in P6. He's doing a really good job out there. Enzo Deligny, I was about to say needs to improve given his current form, and he's just done that. P5. If he's to continue this run of top 10 finishes, he does a 1:31.4 to get himself P5 and a P9 start provisionally. This is Marta Garcia running in 15th place. She's on a slowdown lap. I tell you who isn't slowing down though is Pedro Claro. Nor is Edgar Pierre. He's going well on this lap too. And I think that is Edgar Pierre coming by our screen now. The RPM cars that really hooked up this morning. Here's the Frenchman who qualified well last time. Did Edgar Pierre. He qualified really well. Rafa Kamara going even quicker, just to add insult to injury. Here we go up to the final 2 corners. There is Rafa Kamara. I'll tell you the times of the other 2 drivers as Pedro Claro goes to P4. What about Edgar Pierre? Currently running down in 12th place. He's about to come up to the line now. Will we see an improvement from him? Not quite, but we watch Rafa Kamara and just admire the shots of him as he comes through turn 12 and up to the final 2 corners. Looking at the screen, Nikita Bedrin looks like he could be the next improver, but Rafa Kamara Coming through the final corner and down the start-finish straight, is he on to take what would be his 6th pole position in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine? I think so. He's come across the line. He hasn't improved on that lap, but nevertheless, he is half a second clear. What about Formula 3 podium finisher Nikita Bedrin? Round the final corner now. Back in the series this round. Let's see if he can do anything to disrupt that front row. Nikita Bedrin up to the line, P10. Hasn't quite got things hooked up yet this weekend, but he's still got time. Oh, and you can hear the tyres squealing through the first corner. Update on John Bennett. He's just gone quicker through the second sector, by the way, and he's gone quicker through the last, but it was a tough first sector that really hurt his lap there. He's doing a good job nevertheless, and he's got one more lap to try and improve. James Wharton, personal best first sector, 31.0. That's a good time from him. That's about, he's about 400ths away from what the best first sector is there. Let's see what he does through the second. I'm going to keep all eyes on him. Oh, he's 4/10 off. So he's had a disappointing second sector. He's certainly made a mistake somewhere. Nevertheless, James Wharton just needs to try and hold on to P2 here. Enzo Deligny trying to take that P2. Let's see what he can do. Ivan Dominguez improving. De Paulo Bedrin also improving. Up to the line. Let's watch James Wharton first. He's going to get one more lap of this as he comes across the line. Second place for now. What about Enzo Deligny, P6? And De Paulo, I think, will be the first to take the flag. He just got across the line, I think, Matteo De Paulo. So now, who will be first across the flag? Rafa Kamara has bailed. He will not take the flag, so he's taken the flag in the pit lane. We see one of the MP drivers coming up to the line, which I think maybe Nikita Bedrin hasn't improved. Rafa Kamara has come in. That's the end of his session. So he and Bedrin are done, as is Valerio Rinicello, who improves to 12th. John Bennett puts in a personal best lap to stay 11th. Nick Hilbora is in 8th place. Ivan Dominguez is P5 with an improvement at the end there to go ahead of Enzo Deligny. So that's a change in the top 10. Ivan Dominguez a 1:31.418. That puts the Red Bull Junior out of the top 10, but the Red Bull Junior is on one lap here, a last lap. Noah Stromstead as Jesse Calascado on for his best qualifying in Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. He is 7th so far. He's just come across the line, but let's see if he can stay there. Noah Stromstead up to the line, P3. Doesn't improve on that last lap, nor does his teammate Edgar Pierre. Just trying to see if there's anyone else who can improve here. Matteo De Paulo has gone quicker through the first sector. A little bit slower through the second, but still chance to improve here. Matteo De Paulo up to the line. Yes, P9 for him. In fact, he didn't improve, sorry, as Rafa, that's one of the Prema guys coming through, isn't it? And James Wharton does not improve. Matteo De Paulo did not improve either at the end. It looked very close, like he had done. He's in such a close fight. Had he found half a tenth, he would have been up 2 rows on the grid. As plenty of fans of all ages in once again here enjoying the action. And once again, we will see Rafa Kamara leading the field away in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. It will be the 6th time we see that happening. James Wharton finishes 2nd in that session, but he will take a 3-place grid drop to remind you. So we will see him dropping down the order. He'll start P6 on the grid. But Rafa Kamara, will call it as we see it for now. James Wharton, 2nd place. Solid qualifying session for him. Noah Stromstead, great qualifying session for him as well, after such a disappointing day yesterday by his very high standards. Now, Pedro Claro, what a day for him. What a weekend for him and for Van Amersfoort. 2 cars in the top 10 there. Enzo Deligny, a chance to carry on what has been such a really good a season for him. Jesse Carrasquedo, I think that's his best qualifying now in his FRECA career so far. Well done to him. Superb work, and it is. 17th it was before. Nikhil Bora 8th, Matteo De Paula 9th, and Bedrin, Bennett, Rinicella, Pierre, Andriolo, Vesselau and Garcia. So Stromstead was the driver there in the 57. Third place for him. Overall, will likely move up a position on the grid. Wharton, second place for now, but will drop down 3 places, but still a statement result for him. And that's a really good performance from the Australian, who could have easily, after yesterday, gone and put another bad performance in, or put a bad performance in today, shall I say, and kind of lost his head a bit. But he has come out and really done a good performance today and done what he needed to do. And very, very impressed with him and Prema Racing in general. They're just taking this weekend on. They hit their Man RSGP. It's been a really good head-to-head battle between those. Van Amersfoort right in the mix as well. We're seeing such superb performances all around, but this man here, Rafa Kamara, quite literally unbeatable in that half a second clear. James Wharton gave it all he could, fighting with his teammate. Half a second, he was the best of the rest, but the best of them, Rafa Kamara, in qualifying that for the 6th time. And that is all. We will go racing here local time at 3 o'clock. Be sure to join us then. For now, it is goodbye here from Zandvoort. And if you're at the track, join us at 11:15 for the autograph session. It's been a pleasure to have your company, and we look forward to welcoming you back for race 2 of round 3. At 3 o'clock local time for what should be a fantastic day, afternoon of action. Hopefully the weather stays dry.